Hello and welcome to Not So Awesome Review. And today we're looking at the Mezco 112 Collected Black Suited Spider-Man. And yeah, so this guy is really awesome. I really like him, but there are some very annoying flaws. There's actually one really major annoying flaw and just one inconvenience, which I feel like just happens to me every time I buy a Mezco figure. But anyways, first of all, this figure does come with some accessories, and I do want to state that I have not gotten the regular Spider-Man or the Miles Morales one. I do want to get the regular Spider-Man at some point, but I just want to put that out there, just because I can't, compare, but my guess is it's probably the same body. If I'm wrong, leave a comment. But I'm assuming they probably just reuse the same body, and it's just a different, suit with obviously a different head and hands. But anyways, accessory wise, he does come with a pair of fisted hands that have an opening for the web effects, which we'll get to in a second. He comes with a pair of wall crawling hands and a pair of kind of openish hands that are really flexible, so you can get one of the other web effects on there. And web effects wise, he does come with this, you can see here, bendy wire one, which you can definitely more or less tell it's a bendy wire twisted around, but it still looks really good. The ends of it have kind of like the little shot thing going on there, which look nice. And next up, we have a kind of spraying open web effect. Let me focus in on this. Looks good. They're all nice, kind of pearlescent white, aside from the bendy wire, where the only part of it's painted are the two ends. We have this one that's shooting open, which is a nice length, and then we have two of these kind of shooting ones. I guess you could say concussion, maybe. I don't know what the right term for these would be. But yeah, they're pretty nice, pretty cool, and putting them on is pretty simple, though. Getting to one of his flaws is that, at least on mine, his hands seem to pop off really easy. I'm pretty sure I'm pushing them on hard enough that, they shouldn't be falling off, but for the most part, they do pop off pretty simple. When I'm posing him, sometimes they do tend to pop off, but yeah, you get his fists, as you guys can see right here, and get one of these web effects, and you just line it up into the groove like that with the little part right there, and then we just snap it on to his hand like so, and just like that, he's firing his web, which is cool. I do like that. No complaints on that. I know it's a little hard to see because of the white background, but it's there. Other than that, we do get the Mezco stand and the Mezco little arm thing, which I do like. These arms are really nice and strong. The stand is all right, but I'm not gonna end up using it because, well, it's kind of big, and I don't even use any of them, and it's black, so it's been out for like a day, and it's already kind of dusty and stuff. So it is cool to have them. For anyone who's never gotten a Mezco stand before, to get the little peg out easy, you just grab the stand, push it through the hole right there, and it'll pop off. Really, no problem. But yeah, so figure wise, let's actually just pop this off really quick so I don't accidentally bend that or break it. I don't think they'll be that easy to break. They are a little flexible, but I'd still be careful. So figure wise, he is, like I said, a nice figure. He looks good. I don't know what this material is. It's really smooth. It's really thin. It's almost like a fake leather, but like really, definitely really thin. It makes me a little scared of ripping it. The Batman one felt a little bit more solid. This one definitely feels like just like one little poke in it and it'll slice. That's the feeling I get from it. The spider logo, which looks really nice, really clean, in some places does look like it's lifting up a little bit, and again, it scares me that one wrong move and the whole thing will come ripping off. So hopefully that doesn't happen. The way it's stitched is interesting. It goes from the arms right here down to the back, down through his butt, and down through the legs. The legs make sense. The butt, I guess, kind of makes sense. This part, I see why they did it. They didn't want to interrupt Spider logo, so I'm okay with it. It's not that big of a deal. It's cloth, so obviously you're going to expect seam lines somewhere. But yeah, so I did have this guy pose in some extreme ways, and for the most part, the fabric doesn't kind of, I guess, dent. I don't know, kind of like you guys can see right here, the creases. It doesn't crease. There we go. It does have some, but for the most part, it won't really happen anywhere that there isn't kind of a joint like that where it's going to be staying like that for like a really extended period of time. Obviously, here in the legs, if you have him staying like that, it's going to be like that for longer. I had him posed with his arm bent, his leg bent, and stuff, and there's really no kind of aftermarket lines there going on. So that's a good thing, you know. It holds its nice, smooth shape. I'm sure if you leave it out in one position for too long, it will eventually start getting creases in it. And this feels like a figure that honestly you do not want to leave somewhere where it's going to get super hot without having air conditioning or an air on throughout, not the whole day, but don't leave it in like an attic where it gets to like 100 degrees for the whole day. It almost feels like the old GI Joe material for the jackets that does tend to melt, so be careful with that. Aside from that, the figure is pretty solid articulation wise. It's pretty good, but there is a major flaw, one of them being that he does have kind of weak ankles if you try and put him on one foot. He can stand, so there it is possible, but yeah, 1 foot, weak ankle, starts to fall back. On top of that, he doesn't have an ankle pivot at all. Um, at first, I thought, okay, maybe it's one of those ball joints that you can like kind of twist it, and then eventually you'll get the side to side movement. No, no, there's nothing down there, and it honestly sucks. Like a Spider-Man figure deserves ankle pivot. I know that most of the, if not all of the Mezco figures I have don't have ankle pivot. I remember as far back as Green Arrow and stuff, them just not having that. And it just, why haven't you guys fixed that yet? It's not that hard to do. If Marvel Legends can do it, I'm pretty sure you guys can too, especially for the price point. No ankle pivot, that's just sad. That's not right. And like I said, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe he does have it and I'm just not twisting the joint right, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've like sat here and messed with it for like a good while. There's no pivot going on there. So that really sucks. Otherwise, articulation is actually really good. Now, is it perfect for a Spider-Man figure? Obviously not. I don't think anything's going to beat the Amazing Yamaguchi in terms of kind of posing and stuff, but this figure does do, I think, mostly better than the Marvel Legends, aside from the, lack of ankle pivot and the somewhat weak ankle, because like I said, it does tend to fall off, or fall back, I should say. And yeah, so let's just get into it. His head can look up about that much, with his neck can go up a little bit more, can look down that much, which is really good. Can pivot left and right really well. I mean, that is stupidly good. Can go all the way around. And yeah, so head-wise, love it. No problems at all. The side, I guess he could look a little bit more up, but still not bad. His arm can go up that much, can move forward that much, can move back that much. Of course, the cloth does kind of hinder a little bit, but not too much. Does have upper bicep rotation, does have double jointed elbows that do really well, does have that hinge at the wrist and rotation. He does have an upper, I want to say that's a ball joint. You can go left, or I guess that's sort of, well, that's his left. It's your right, but it's his left and right really well. That's really good. Can lean back a good amount, can lean forward a good amount. Obviously, I'm assuming most people are going to be really careful with that because they don't want to ruin the white, but I've had no issues with him, and I've been messing with him kind of roughly. Just, I want to see how much he can hold up. It's probably not the smartest thing considering the price, but at the same time, I do want to see like what he can do, and he can get into some really cool poses, so there is that. He does have a mid rotation right there, so you can go left and right a little bit more, which is awesome. His legs can go out about that far, kick forward really well. They can kick back just a little bit. They do have a double jointed knee, which can do an amazing job. And he can move forward a little bit and move back somewhat. And I believe, yeah, he does have an upper leg rotation right there. So articulation, it isn't bad, but getting him into like a crouching pose with his arm down and everything, it's not going to happen. That's just, it doesn't happen with Marvel Legends. It's not going to happen with this guy, unfortunately. But you can get him into some decent poses, which I had him in earlier. So it is actually a lot of fun to pose this guy. I'm not gonna lie. It's a fun figure. Don't expect extreme poses. If you want that, get the Amazing Yamaguchi, but he is really fun. He does also come with the whole magnetic clamp here, so you can put that around his waist and stick him into anything that has a well metal surface like a refrigerator or something and have him kind of either hanging there or crawling up it, which is pretty cool. I forgot to mention that because I had it sitting actually attached to a magnetic surface. So yeah, articulation wise, not absolutely the best, but better in my opinion, much better, 1,000 times better. Not really, but a lot better than the Marvel Legends minus the ankle pivot. Getting him to stand is a little tricky. I don't know why he feels like he's back heavy. He always wants to fall backwards. Like I gotta keep leaning him forward just a little bit until I get to that sweet spot. And like I said, his ankles do feel weak, which is a little bit annoying. Other than that, really good figure. Yeah, not much else to say. So let's just move on to some size comparisons. So here you're saying right next to a Super Saiyan God Goku from the SH Figure Arts line, and you can see Spider-Man is definitely a lot taller. He's actually sitting about 6.5 inches tall. And yeah, here you're saying next to the Mezco Captain America, and you can see he is a little bit taller than him. They do scale well. I'm not actually sure, on Peter Parker's height versus Captain America's height. I'm guessing this is right. I don't know, but they do look good together, so there is that. And yeah, not much else to say here. And here he is next to a Marvel Legends Venom that came out a while ago. Notice there's a new wave that's coming out right now, but yeah, it's a little bit shorter than him, which is good. Funny enough, I didn't even realize this until now, but his head is always wanting to spring up. I actually just had it down and it went up by itself. But yeah, these two look pretty good together. Although, obviously the Mezco one looks a lot nicer with the full body suit while, his joints are all exposed. It's really your preference. I know a lot of people don't like the cloth thing and a lot of people love the cloth thing. So just in kind of if you like this or if you like that kind of thing. You just saw his head bounce. Like I said, that hinge is weird. Still really cool together. Moving on. Lastly, here he is compared to the Pizza Spidey and the Marvel Legends Mary Jane 2-pack Spider-Man here. And you can see that the Mezco one is bigger, not just in terms of height, but kind of bulk-wise. He's just a little bit of a bigger body. His chest comes out a little bit more. His legs, I feel like, are a little bit thicker than the other two. But overall, they do kind of fit in the same line. I will say that, this guy, he does, like I said, have better articulation than both of these two. But obviously, it's kind of your choice to see who you like more. I mean, if you don't like cloth goods, you don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, which trust me, at about $90 MSRP, it is a little bit crazy. 80 to 90, I should say. But yeah, the action figure ones here, they don't have that rotation in the upper chest. They don't have the crazy head pivot that the Mezco one does. But at least they have the ankle pivot. But the legs don't go out as far again as the Mezco one does. So while the Mezco one in a way is almost completely superior, the other two here do have an ankle pivot, which helps out a lot when posing, which is why I am so disappointed in Mezco for not including that, especially in a Spider-Man figure, a character who definitely, out of all the figures, out of all of the characters they've made so far, deserves it the most. Maybe even over Batman, who definitely also deserves it. But, if I was to choose which of the two characters probably need the ankle pivot more, it would be Spider-Man. That said, no, you cannot put the Peter Parker head on this head because of the way his head is shaped. The Peter Parker head will not look right on it. It doesn't actually pop in. You can set it on top of it, but it doesn't look right, in case anyone's wondering. And unfortunately, I don't have the Marvel Legends Black Suit Spider-Man. I never picked him up. I do want to, just because I want to do the Build-A-Figure, but I also didn't do it because I knew this guy was coming out, so I was holding off on it. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Which one is your favorite? Again, if you don't like the cloth thing, that's cool. That's you do guys, you do you, and that's pretty much all I can say about that. So overall, I gotta say I do really like this Spider-Man. I think they did a great job with him, though I will leave you guys with some warnings. Be careful with the suit, especially where the seams are, because there can be some tearings. I do have a little microscopic piece I've noticed right now where the suit isn't so much coming apart, but the kind of leathery feeling is kind of chipping off just a little bit. Like I said, with this material, it feels like just one little thing, and you're not too careful, it will rip more. So be careful, handle him with care. I feel like this goes especially for this figure, not most of the other Mezco figures. They're usually, like the Joker and like Captain America, their material is different. It's not going to really peel so much. You can get a tear in it, but this guy just feels extra fragile, I should say, which is kind of disappointing because obviously, if you're a big time, you like taking pictures and all that stuff with your figures, you want to mess with them, you want to be able to pose them really well. I would say use this guy on special occasions. Not something I would ever normally say. Action figures I feel like are meant to be played with, but given the circumstances of his suit, like I said, be careful. Another thing I do want to note, which is kind of interesting, is that aren't his hands all supposed to have the little black dot on them? Um, my bad, I didn't turn on the light again. Yeah, right here isn't like I get that that's where the dot is on his fist. I'm sorry, I know that's blurry. Let me see if I can focus in here. Shouldn't he still have the black dot even if he's not using the webs? I thought he always had the black dot. I'm not really sure. I do wish he came with whipping hands because, well, if you don't know, he has worn this suit without it being Venom before, so it would have been nice to have kind of the option to say, well, he's either using the Venom suit or he's using the, cloth suit that he had when he fought, well, actual Venom. The first time he fought real Venom, or not real Venom, but Eddie Brock Venom, he had that, cloth black suit on, so it would have been nice to be able to kind of just had whipping hands as an option to say, hey, it can either be, the symbiote or it could be the cloth suit. Just saying, that would have been a nice bonus. Not much else to say here other than I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe for more, and I will see you all later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.